What's up, guys? Week 2 of the 500k challenge is complete and we just hit 10,000 in total profits. So you guys can see over here on the dashboard we are seated at 10,000 in profits and our account balance is 510,000. This week we managed to make 1.5% in profits and that was our best winner. Previously we closed the week at 0.5%, and this week we now made 1.5%, bringing the total to 2%. So we still need 8%. You guys can see that, we're just 10,000 out of 50,000 to clear this profit target. So that's around 40,000. So we still need 40,000 to clear this profit target and move on to phase 2. So how did we get here? Let's look into the trade. So this week we had non-farm, and as you guys know, when there is non-farm, price is going to accumulate, and that has basically been the story on most of like the major pairs, including gold. It has not been definitive on where it wants to go, but if you know price action, you can basically see what price is really up to. So what happened was that price began this trend to the downside, and then price came back and took out these highs over here. These highs were swiped over here, and then price came back and pushed lower. So once they pushed lower, price tried to attempt to take out these highs, but then they failed and reversed from here. So once they reverse and take out the previous low over here, then you get to know, okay, price has actually established a trend, because normally you can't establish a trend with one impulse. You need two impulses. So we couldn't like really establish the fact that price wanted to sell from just this impulse. This is just one impulse, so it's low probability. So if you wait for the next impulse, and that next impulse basically has to take out the previous low, and that is exactly what happened, because that's how price moves, if you guys know your baby pips. So price makes lower lows, and then a lower high, and then a lower low, and then a lower high, and then a lower low. This is a bearish trend. So this is exactly what we are looking for. So price came and then created this low over here, then tried to challenge the high, but then it failed, and then came right back down, took out these lows. That means it broke structure, and then your aim is now to look for a zone where price could basically retrace or pull back before the next lower low. So we are hoping to catch the next move or the next impulsive move that could create the next lower low, right? So that is what we are looking for, and price did actually give us a setup. So in the M15, as you guys can see, we had a type 2 setup, and a type 2 setup is basically like a continuation setup. So every time we're looking for continuations, we're looking for a type 2 setup, and that's exactly what gold printed. So we created a high that's around Asia, and then price came and then took out those highs with these aggressive moves to the upside. So when you see this in real time, it looks like as if price is headed to the upside. So all you have to do is to wait for like kind of confirmation. That's what we did. Waited for the confirmation, and price confirmed the sells over there. So that's where we got in at around 515, and then the next thing is to just manage your risk, and you let the trade play out. So price either takes you out or it actually like confirms your bias. So you don't have to do anything. Once you execute the trade, let it chill, and so I used the 0.5% risk. As you guys know, in the previous episode I told you I'm just going to be risking 0.5% until I create that buffer of 3% and 4%, and then from there increase the risk to like 1% and be able to finish off the challenge in the shortest time possible. That's exactly what I did on this trade. Executed with a 0.5% and just held all the way to TP. So I did share this trade with my students, but my students actually went for a 4R because they were targeting the previous swing lows on the H1. So they went for a 4R around this zone over here. So they cashed out a 4R, I cashed out a 3R. It's a win-win, everybody wins, and that was basically it. So yeah, clean trade is just a reminder that you don't need 100 trades to like be profitable in a week. You just need a few trades, as long as the trades are in your playbook. the trades that you're looking at, the trades that you back tested, and you've studied, and like that you have a strong conviction about these trades. That's what makes a consistently profitable trader, like you being able to execute the same trades again and again, again and again, again and again. So yeah, that was basically what happened this week. Not a lot, but we are now seated at 2% profit, and let's see what next week brings. So see you guys in the next episode.